Hello, it's me, CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Um, I'm out for my Coke Zero. I'm out for a nice walk to get my cardio on, and also, um, I find coming out and walking around, I find it serene and relaxing. And I'm gonna walk over towards the river, and if you're watching the video, you'll get to hear my thoughts along the way. So this shirt, this AC/DC shirt, I had some dental work done a few years ago, and the childhood lisp that I had kind of returned. So I constantly am training myself against not getting tongue twisted. But this shirt I bought when this AC/DC shirt I bought when I was in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. Went to a Walmart and got some things, including this shirt. So it's sentimental, and it was too large for me, but it's the only one that I bought. It used to fit me a little better, but I've lost weight since then too. What I should say is I've lost weight around my stomach, where I'm less fat than I used to be. But the weight itself, I have kept it kind of balanced, because basically I go to a gym and I work out, and I mostly focus on arms, chest, and legs, and I do like some core, but I get a limited amount of time. This is the YMCA building that I wanted to go to. I was like, I'm gonna start going. And then, well, I do go to a Planet Fitness. I do have a Planet Fitness membership. But I was gonna swap over and come here because it's closer to home, and I know that I would go there more. But what prevailed? Ooh, darkness. Darkness prevails? What prevailed was my looking into cruises that I want to take, because I used to be really big about trying to get tickets to go away on a concert when there are concerts that I'd love to see. And I still will want to do that when there's something comes up that I really want to go see. Like one of my favorite bands, Greta Van Fleet. I think they're about to drop a new album. There's some speculation on that. And if they do, and if they tour in support of the album, I will want to go see them, at the concert that they would do. So, of course, I would go to something like that. Or any other show that I want to see, of course I would. But in the meantime, sometime last November, I went on my first cruise with my friend Jay. And even really before we went on that cruise, I had started watching cruise videos about the Valor, the Carnival ship Valor. Anyway, and I knew that I was going to love it, so I started making purchases of many cruises coming out of Miami this year, from mid-February going into mid-March. So for about 3 weeks worth of cruises, many cruises back and forth. Can I tell you, it started as, I'm going to go away for 3 weeks. And then it was like, I've got enough time that I could buy the other half of this week on the same ship. And then gradually, I just kept adding little pieces until it extended to 3 weeks on a cruise out of Miami. Anyway, by the time that happened, I was uh, I was officially hooked on the cruise lifestyle. Now I cannot do what some of my buddies do that I meet on these things. Some of them cruise constantly. Let me go constantly and cruise. I cannot do that. Uh, but I did find that if I do like what a lot of normal people do, plan ahead and budget, that I can do one or two nice vacation trips a year. And if I want them to be on a cruise ship, all the better. If I find the time of year in which they're not at peak season, so that they wouldn't be the most expensive. If I go a little off season, it's a cruise ship, and I go in the Caribbean, around the Bahamas and stuff. You know, there's no like bad season. You know, so what happens is that the weather is perpetually beautiful down there. I was there for 3 weeks. Had one light, misty, rainy day, and that was on the bus coming back from Miami. So I go to Miami. Anyway, so this November, I want to take a trip with my buddy. We're looking at maybe going in November, 5 days out of New Orleans, on the Carnival Valor, the kind of anniversary of the trip that we took the first time. I would love that. And then we crossed the street. Somebody was coming up behind me talking on their phone, and I didn't want to get their angst of who they were speaking to. I didn't want to catch that in my video by mistake. But anyway, yes, it would be nice to do that, but he's not sure. He's not sure yet. Hang on one second. Come to think of it, I don't think he was talking on a cell phone or an earpiece. I think he's slightly schizophrenic. I do live downtown. We do have people that live outside. But anyway, yeah, I want to take the Carnival Valor again in November. But he's on the fence. It depends upon his work. But in the meantime, I've already started to book cruises beginning in January out of Miami, going into February. And I'm excited. I have tentative 2 back-to-backs booked, 2 5-day back-to-backs booked, and I've already negotiated really good prices. The thing about a cruise ship is that they're just like booking a hotel. The price is on a daily basis, and they will go up and down depending upon your promotional code, where you find the room from, who you speak with, you know. And if you do a little poking around for a hotel room or a resort, you will find the better price than what is the general listing. And I'm good at that kind of stuff. So, and the website for Carnival actually makes it easy, because when you go to like make a purchase of a room that you want, then you'll get, when you go in to finalize it, there'll be a menu selection that gives you a few different options of the prices, a few different promotional codes, and each one of them will have different perks associated with it. Like this one will be listed at one price, but it'll have like maybe $100 credit for your room or something. Or this one listed at a different price, but $25 or $50 credit for your room, or you know, your onboard credit or whatever. So, you know, it's fun to do that, play around. I love hunting a bargain as much as I love finding and purchasing the bargain, you know. But yeah. So this one is going to be different. I'll go ahead and say that Carnival Valor has been my favorite ship. But I loved the experience that I had on Carnival Conquest, which was the same class of ship going out of Miami. Because I was there so long that I got familiar and they got familiar, and you know, a lot of that, you know. So the Carnival Sunshine It's the one that I'm booking a few. I say a few. Right now I've got 2 cruises booked on it, back to back, and I'm probably going to do at least one more. So that would be at least 15 days of cruises back to back at the affordable price that I'm finding it. January going into February. So don't you all get on their website and rush and buy out all the cheapy rooms. I need an affordable room. Save me one. But anyway, yeah. So I've got 10 days. I wanna, if I can, I wanna at least double that and get 10 more. I know for a fact I'm probably at least going to go for one more cruise. So that would be 3 back-to-backs, you know, and then we'll see from there how it goes. And the reason why I say that is because cruises are, like I said, like the hotels, they will go up and down. So it's about finding it at the price that I want. And I'm never going to book a cruise, then buy it. And then it's like, $200 more than what I really want to spend, just to complete it, or whatever. I have my ways in which I like to look for my cruises. It's just like when I'm away from home, I like to look for, a nice hotel, but I like to find the price that I can work with. So I look at all the different options before I make a final price. I negotiate. I'm like that, Okay. The point is, this is just a blessing in my life that basically that I can do this. But the reason why I can do this is because I save up, money. I really go without a lot of things that a lot of people do have, so that I can afford to do stuff like go to concerts, or maybe go visit a friend who lives in another state, or something. What I did learn, though, sometimes if I want to do something, and I want to do something with other people, if I wait around for everything and everyone that I want to be able to do something with, if I wait around for them to say, hey, let's do it, and then, they put it off, they keep putting it off, and then at the last minute say, oh, by the way, I'm not going to go after all, then I find out that I miss out on a lot of things. So what I've decided to do some time ago was go ahead and do the things that I plan on doing most, that I would enjoy doing on my own, and then let people know, hey, I'm going here, and if you want to come with, and let's plan it, and let's see if we can make it happen. We'll discuss it. Now, are there things, are you interested in going to see this concert? Or are you interested in going to take this cruise with me out of this port or something? And just making the decision and doing it, for means of traffic's coming. So doing it in a way that I can do it, and making the decision and doing it myself, and not letting it hinge upon somebody else's decision or availability. Because people like to do that. People like to sit back and think about what it would be like if they could go do something. And then there's the commitment factor. You start putting a deposit down on cruises, unless you're willing to put down some extra that pays for your protection in case something happens. You can't go. Maybe you could recuperate some of your money, get some of your money back, or whatever those conditions might be. Those, in booking those reservations. If you just know that you're going to go, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Like, I know for a fact that I'm going on my cruises, so I never do vacation protection or anything like that. I know that I'm going. If somebody were to that I knew were to die while I'm away on this boat, I will have to wait to pay my respects until I come back. Last year there was a problem with my rental payment. The problem with that is that the payment tool by which we pay our rent was not working. And I let these people know in advance, hey, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Miami, and some of that time I'm going to be out of the country. I'm certainly going to be out of touch throughout most of it. Can I bring my money order, pay my rent in advance? Well, the ladies in the office, the managers and everything, they don't accept those things on a regular basis. They were only accepting my rent after the 5th of each month. And this went on for months while they were still working on troubleshooting. And I'm telling you, we just got it fixed this month. These rent payment issues, they've been going on for 6 or 7 months that I've been taking the money orders. I don't mind, but in this particular case, I was in, when my rent came due, I was on a cruise ship, and I let them know, hey, I'm gonna come back and pay my rent because you didn't accept it when I was in town. What we'll do, because I'm not available for troubleshooting, is you'll just have to accept my rent, and I will refuse. And it was reasonable. I was like, I would refuse all the late fees or whatever. So, and they didn't put up they weren't going to charge late fees anyway, but it was my way of giving them a reminder, you know. But that open communication. I wasn't trying to be aggressive about it, but I let them know, hey, this is, I did try to pay it in advance. You guys didn't want the money order in advance. We still haven't been able to troubleshoot the payment app. It's still not working, no matter how many times we've asked the company. That they use for their payment app was a third-party company called Paymentus. And Paymentus was the company that it receives and processes a lot of those online payments for various different things. It was having an issue. not the company that I rent my apartment from, but the app that takes that application. Anyway. Well, that's a long story, but we did get it worked out. And so I don't anticipate that I should have that trouble in the future. But if I am having trouble with the rent, and it's not being able to process on the payment tool, then of course I will. Do you want the rent in advance by money order? Do you want to wait until I come back? And you better take it before I go, because I'm probably going to be gone for a month at least. Okay, because I may want to save up. And coming back, what I might want to do is think about taking an Amtrak. I've never taken an Amtrak before, and I can take an Amtrak and come all the way back to Marshall Station or Longview side, wherever it is in Texas. I think it's in Marshall. And I think the nearest one, I think, is in Marshall. But if not, it's in Longview. But either way, there is a Sports Tran bus for an additional $17. That you can add on, I think, is the fee, you know. So for taking it, I guess, I don't know. I think that's what I read. I don't know. I've never actually done a deep dive into Amtrak, but maybe I want to take an Amtrak and just from Florida, the route goes all the way to Washington D.C. And then goes all the way back to New Orleans, and then from New Orleans shoots up Louisiana. I think that's the route. So we'll see. And if not, then maybe I'll just do Greyhound again. I swore the last time I did Greyhound, I was like, I'm not doing Greyhound again. That's insane. Well, there was an insane guy on the bus that I was traveling on from Miami to Atlanta, Georgia, coming back. But that was so not the usual. Mostly everybody that I know, they are so chilled out and relaxed. Most of them are really wonderful. But there wasn't, you know, Greyhound did get sold to a German company, and it's combined something called a Flixbus with the Greyhound service, and they also third-party tour buses for heavier seasons, especially coming out of like spring break and things like that. So, you know, but I did learn, pick my return date, stick to it, purchase that bus ticket in advance. I was going to buy the bus ticket when I decided to come back. What happened was I went swimming in the ocean. My ATM card that I use for purchases was in my wallet, and I lost it. And there's no local branch to my, in Miami to the credit union that I use in Louisiana. And it would have been like, hey, I don't know how that was going to happen. I had no idea how that was going to work out. So my good friends actually sent me a rescue ticket. They bought the ticket from the Greyhound website in my name. And then as soon as I got back to town, of course, the very next business day, I think I got back on a Saturday or a Saturday night. And so that first thing that Monday, I went and I withdrew the money and I gave it to my friend to repay his other friend who actually made the purchase of the ticket or whatever. So it was kind of cool. Everybody's happy. But the ticket was 3 times the amount of what it would have been if I'd have bought it even as late as weeks in advance. So, lesson learned: buy the bus ticket way in advance, with enough time that the bus is going to reschedule a few times, because they'll always do that. Hey, the routes change and we'll let you select. I learned always choose an arrival time at least a day earlier than port day in Miami. And the reason why is because you never know with Greyhound. Is it going to be late? Probably. Not too bad, but at least, a good 12-hour departure late. And it depends upon which route. There's always going to be some adjustment. Buy early, buy cheap. And then what happens is when they do the reschedule, and they will, then you can get the route that you want, and they won't even charge you more for it. Like I got a more direct route that would have cost probably about $30 more when I was leaving Shreveport to go there. But because they rescheduled and they offered me to have the route that I wanted, I could pick and choose the route for the same price. So I chose a very direct route. That was pretty cool. But yeah, my tip for Greyhound: always plan on arriving a day early if you're leaving by another mode of transportation from that, like say from the port to a cruise ship. Always arrive the evening before. If you get there and you need to get a room, have money for a room for the night. But you'll probably get there within 6 or 8 hours of embarkation time, like I did. Well, for me, I'll tell you, I got there about 1 a.m. and my ship's embarkation time was 1:30 p.m. the next afternoon. So I really just had 12 hours. I was not gonna spend $200 in a room for a room when I could just hang around, be quite comfortable in the airport until I got ready to go in the morning to the port. And so I went and I hung out for a little bit and just kind of took in the sights and everything. It was kind of cool. It was quite a little adventure, but by the time I got on the boat, I knew that I was home. I knew that my soul lived on that boat, at least for those 6 cruises that I took. 3 and 2, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. 3 weeks, 6 cruises. And the staff, they were so great at identifying the type of cruiser that I am, which was a casual, relaxing cruiser. I do love to go, and I do love to dance, and I do love to rock out with the band and everything, but I'm here for recreation and relaxation, not a party trip. You know, I'm not going to live on a nightclub on the sea for you know, I really gravitated towards the relaxation, the sitting in the hot tubs, all that kind of stuff, and experiencing the nicer things like the Emeril Lagasse inspired cuisine in the main dining room and everything. All that stuff is included. Why am I talking about this? Because damn it, I gotta tell somebody. And I don't want to come off as, I don't want to sit around and talk to the people that I know here locally and seem like I'm being douchey about being excited about this trip that I'm going to take like 9 months from now, because I'm literally going to be high on the thought of this for 9 months from now. It is good to have hobbies and recreations and fun and hope and things that make life worth living, so that you're not just in a rut. It's good to have things to look forward to, and those things that you look forward to be actual things that you do. I don't know. You know, when this is something that was about me. There was one thing that I missed in my addiction, and I always, in the craziness of my addiction, one thing I did like was to travel. I didn't like waking up from a blackout and here I am in some other new city among other people I don't know who they are, or I'm stranded in some place and I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this fix or what's gonna happen. I don't miss the craziness, but I miss the sightseeing aspect of it, the adventure of being able to see other things. And so for a long time in my recovery, I didn't really go anywhere. And then I moved to New Orleans shortly after my mom passed. I needed to kind of be by myself with those feelings and process them. And that wasn't going to happen if I stayed where I was. And so I went to New Orleans. I didn't know how long I was going to stay, and I did it impetuously. That's my favorite, probably my most accurate description sometimes of what I do. It's not always about what I do anymore, but that's why my cooking segments, when I cook food, I call myself the impetuous chef. Because it's normally like, gee, I don't plan it out. I just like look in the freezer, see what's there, and then I put something together. That's the reason for my title of impetuous chef. It's an area that I can be spontaneous in. But I used to be spontaneous about everything because honestly, I had no life plan. There was nothing to look forward to. It was just a crazy whirlwind of this and that and whatever comes next, and we'll ride it through. Even when I was past the state of when I wasn't in when I didn't have a sense of living in an emergency, because it was just my life, one big chaotic thing after another and whatever, I'll get, there wasn't this, I had calmed down, but I was still a little bit crazy. And I was undiagnosed and not medically compliant, and now I am. So now what I do is I do the responsible thing, and I look ahead and I make payments, and I save up, and I vacation responsibly, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, could you imagine me talking about this for the next 9 months every day? You can be in someone in my social circle. Oh my God, that would just be nuts, right? So I'm talking about it now so I can just say, hey, yay. And then of course what I'll probably do is I will reference it every so often. I'll look at, there'll be some update about the upcoming trip or something, and I'll do a video about it. But I really don't want the next everything that I do to be about this one trip. But I need to think of a season. One thing I do on my YouTube channel is I try to think of themes for a period of time that I call seasons. I don't know. It's not that it's like a TV show or broadcast or anything like that, but when I started the YouTube channel, I was phasing out my content on YouTube, on Facebook. I was not going to do Facebook anymore. I didn't like the direction it was particularly going in. As far as for me, it wasn't going to work with me. So I started doing YouTube videos, and that first season was really all about me moving from the Fairmont into the apartment that I live now, which is Bayou Grants, because it was across the downtown area, just up the street and across town. And I was looking at moving from the Fairmont in the first place. After that first year, I was ready to move. Had my everything. I was preparing, money saved up, everything. And then I got a notification that they were building these apartments, kind of like a modern affordable housing kind of complex or whatever. And it was going to be very nice and fully amended and everything like that. And it's so this whole thing was about me. That whole first season was about me just waiting to move, and it took a while because it would have happened a lot sooner. But what happened in the end part of 2019, we got COVID-19, the coronavirus, for that the pandemic that went around, and so everything shut down. So we just really I had to wait in place for about 2 years, basically. The pandemic was still going on when I moved, but when they started the work back up, then I had to wait for them to come over and build the place, because they literally, when they agreed to do it before COVID, then COVID hit, and whoa, nothing, and so we didn't even know if they were still going to do it after COVID. Like, what was the world going to look like? We didn't know. This was something that we hadn't done, this type of pandemic in my life that affected that much of a shutdown. I'd not experienced it. I know that it's happened from time to time. Oh, a friend of mine that I'm talking about coming on some of this cruise with me, and he's right on the fence, and he's probably going to go out of on the Florida trip, at least for the first week. We'll see. He's not retired yet, so he's still working. So it's I don't think he's going to be able to do the whole time that I'm going, but I think he's thinking about going for that first 5 days or something. So that would be kind of cool. But he asked me, did I get nervous about the virus, the hantavirus or something like that? And then I explained, no, well, that particular cruise was not an American cruise. Cruise ships coming out of the U.S. And especially that are headquartered in the U.S. in particular. We do a lot of. They come in dry dock every so often, and they really, really inspect the ship from top to bottom for sanitation and everything. It's really, really awesome. That they the care that goes into the maintaining of these vessels. And the last ship I took, Conquest, was going directly out of dry dock. And Sunshine, the Carnival Sunshine, the first vessel that I'm going out of Miami at the end of January. Same type of scenario, I'm just doing it a month earlier. It's out of dry dock, and so freshly, inspected vessels that I trust, and but the other thing, it was like I don't know, it's like you get it. It can transmit from person to person, but that's only with extended close contact. And I think it seems like they're probably going to be able to contain this before it really spreads or anything like that. It seems like they what's the word? They kept everybody on that. It was 150 passengers, so it was a very small boat out of whatever, I don't even think it was like an American-owned company. I don't know, but yeah, it's a different scenario than what I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on a boat with, over 3,000 passengers, close to 4,000 passengers. I don't, So, I'm not that on a vessel that big. It's as big as a small town or a little city, really. Uh, so I'm not too concerned about anything like that. What I don't want is I don't want fear to stop me from living life. I'm a big boy. I'm fairly sanitary. I wash my hands, take baths, all that kind of stuff. And when I'm around other people, yeah, I do wash my hands frequently, and try not to have people breathe in my face and stuff like that. And I don't, I don't go make out with strangers on ships. I don't, whatever. I don't, I'm not saying that anyone would ever deserve to get sick. What I'm saying, and let me backtrack, and that's not what I'm saying about the people who got sick on that one ship that they're talking about. But I was asked about it, and let me just clarify that that was a more closer situation. It wasn't maintained with our same standards that I know that we do, and yeah, nothing's foolproof, but I will have the same risk of coming in contact with some virus if I travel across the country, go to Seattle or something like that, or go to LA or something like that. So yeah, I'm just going to take care of myself and not worry about it too much. I'll not be foolish and not be stupid. Although when I was younger, my tarot card that identified me was the Fool, and that was how I lived life. And today, I live it differently. The only real thing that's impetuous about me is the way that I cook. Everything else is pretty much routine. I plan my vacations. I look ahead to people. I talk and I say, hey, what are you doing on this day? Is this a good day to get together to visit? That kind of stuff. Sometimes I got a good friend, Mike. We get together spontaneously. Hey, let's get together and eat some food somewhere or something like that, and I'm usually like, hey, yeah, okay, I'm cool, I'm available and everything like that, because he's a late night kind of person and I'm a late night kind of person and stuff, and his lady doesn't seem to mind too much, so yeah, whatever, and then so or sometimes I got another friend, sometimes he'll look me up in the middle of the night and he'll be like, hey, you want to go get Waffle House? And it's like because he's been out like maybe doing some Ubering or something like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, sure, let's go get some Waffle House at like 3 a.m. I'm a nocturnal person. I'm up that time of night anyway. So sometimes I'm available for that. But I want to do that a lot less because I want to kind of cut back on carbs. I'm not doing an entirely strict keto diet. Because I managed what I wanted to manage to accomplish with that keto diet. And so now I am allowing myself some other foods that I have some enjoyment with. But I still come out and I do my walks. I still go to the gym. I still stay active, still dance around the apartment. I try not to dance in a way that's like, stomping on the floor. But yeah, because I have like this desire to be a conscientious neighbor and not drive my downstairs neighbors crazy by clogging all over their heads. I don't tap dance or clog, but God, that would be fun. I need to look ahead. There is something that I want to do. See, I don't even local shows. For the most part, I plan ahead for that. Last year, I went to see this show of Irish dancers, and I posted about that in my YouTube. Sometime last year, they're coming back, and I want to go see them again, and I want to bring my friend Mike, who went with me, but will depend. That will depend upon his availability, if he can go or not or whatever. But I definitely want to get around to seeing some sort of show or something. For instance, we went to see the revival of Flash Gordon, the Friday night kind of thing or whatever, and it was like, yay, and that was fun. Everybody's seen that movie a few hundred times, but it's different seeing it with an audience that's got kind of a cult mentality about it. So it was fun. It was fun. Okay. Yeah, I've gone on for quite a while. I wanted to talk about my plans for midwinter, the end of January going into February. And I kind of want to finish out the winter season there and kind of stay until, if I can, throughout much of February. And then we'll see. We'll see how the year goes, what my affordability is. Because what I do is I cut back on eating out in restaurants and I cook more at home. One thing that helps is I have this vision thing where I have 15-20 vision, better than 20/20 vision when I wear my glasses. But my eyes are a little bit googly, and because of that I've got a double vision. There's a word for it, where one of my eyes is weaker, and I think I guess it's probably an age thing. Your body, when we age, we don't age symmetrically. We don't age perfectly at the same rate in all of our organs and all that kind of stuff. Age affects different parts of us differently. This is something they didn't tell me about. They didn't tell me about puberty. Why would they have told me anything about getting older? But your body and your the way you age is not necessarily symmetrical. Your face will not. You know what I mean? There's nothing perfectly symmetrical about your face anyway. That's why we're left-handed or right-handed, and we use one more than the other. That kind of stuff. We live in a very we have a line that divides our body from our chest going down and our back and everything. We have that thing that kind of looks almost like a trait of cell division or something. You know what I mean? We have that. They had that line of whatever, that I don't know if there's a word for it, but yeah, you can follow it from your head to toe. There is a line, almost a horizon of the body, and but it's not perfectly symmetrical on either side of that. Most people have a nose that leans to one side or another. I had a nose with a deviated septum, and it did lean a little bit more to the left like that. It wasn't bad, but now that I did it, you could sort of see. But now that I pointed it out, and I was 23, and I still had my tonsils. I had my adenoids taken out, but I had this horrific bout of tonsillitis. If you have your tonsils, you know that you get that so often, even as an adult. And one thing that's not really bad as a child, because they're smaller and they're easier to operate and take out, and they should have done that. When they took out my adenoids, they should have taken out my tonsils. However, they did not. And so I am 23 years old, and I'm going in to have my deviated septum corrected on the premise that if I do that, it can help with my breathing. And it did. But that was a natural thing. My nose was, I didn't get it like resized or reshaped or anything like that. Although, I would have loved to have done that. There are some things I would have loved to have done. But, but yeah. So I had a nose job, but not for the sake of not for the shake. You hear it, the lisp that I had from the dental work, or whatever that word is. I can't do tongue twisters anymore. But anyway, yeah, it didn't change the shape of my nose. But yeah. It does sit more centeredly. Not that it was really bad. I think probably the only one that noticed it was me. And then, but the way, for instance, the way that these glasses sit on my face, a little bit crooked here and there, and it's not because the glasses are crooked. It's because of the asymmetry of my face. I don't know how the hell I got on this topic, but we're talking about aging. The inside of the body ages at different rates and stuff like that, and I forget why that was pertinent to the conversation. Who really cares, right? At this point, I'm just talking to wrap it up, but what I want to do is take a little bit of a look at the bridge from a distance. Beautiful. And the fountain downtown, some lights. Across the street, oh, I know. I'll walk over there across the street. There's a the Scyport, which is a wonderful place where if you have children, you can bring them and learn about some scientific things, but there's also an IMAX theater. And somebody was telling me at a gathering today that the Michael Jackson movie is playing at the Scyport on the IMAX. And I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to look into it because maybe, I don't know. I mean, kids like it, like Michael Jackson or whatever. It might be inspirational or whatever. But, you know, they don't normally do studio movies. They do, you know, educational, scientific movies. Movie tickets for the Scyport. Last time I went with my sister and we took one of my great nieces and nephews to the Scyport. Yeah, we took some people, some younger kids or whatever, and we went to see this thing. It was about the polar ice caps and what life is like there for some of the wildlife that live there, and even some of the Eskimos that live there around that region. So we got to see what life was like, the wildlife, and some of the indigenous peoples that live around that area. Not at the North Pole, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it was kind of cool, and it was narrated by Meryl Streep. So yeah. But yeah, there's a space center. I want to check out the space center. Dun, da, da. I want to know, and there's the IMAX Dome, and then there's the Scyport, and then there's the Space Center. And anytime if you're down here, or if you have traveling with children or something, stop by. Even if you're from out of town or whatever, you want something to do, come check us out, And that's one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to check out and see if there is a chance that they're showing the that Michael Jackson studio movie. I don't think they are. There's a chance that the person could have been mistaken, because there's also an art theater downtown called the Robinson Film Center, and they will show it. And then, of course, there is the movie theater right across the river in Bossier City. I am excited because the Bossier Art Council on the Bossier side, they were located in a civic center with a main library, police station, fire station, and everything. For some reason, I don't know why, they lost their contract or something, their grant or their bidding with that particular location. So they did decide that they're going to open on the boardwalk across the street. So formerly the boardwalk had shops and things like that, like a traditional boardwalk mall. Now it seems that they're going to be making some use, and there's going to be, you know, there's a pickleball, you know, that people can go and play pickleball. The courts, I don't know the name of it. But I don't think that I would take to pickleball, so I don't know. If I get the chance, I'll check it out sometime. But then the art center, the Bossier Art Center, you know, whatever. They used to do that used to be where the Repertory Theater did a lot of productions, and I've auditioned, and I really was in one of them, or I was set to be in one of them, The Music Man, some time ago. It was one of the first things. I went through a series of workshops in the 1990s, and then I was going through a dramatic life change at the workshop. And I'm not gonna go this way. I'm gonna walk around. Okay, I'll tell this story and then I'll end the video. So I was going through a dramatic change, and they had cast me in the chorus of The Music Man, and I didn't have any speaking lines in it, but I was a singer, you know, one of the backgrounds, and you know, basically just furnishings. And I knew that my absence wouldn't hurt the production. Otherwise, I never would have dropped out of the production. But it was the time that I was going through a serious life change in lifestyle. Everything was changing, and I had this major injury on my arm. You know, I don't like to talk about it, but my arm got injured and really scarred, and I just see it's there. Now it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me, but at the time I just, you know, did not know. I didn't know which end was up. And I think I went a little bit mad during that time too. I think, and I don't mean like angry, I mean like crazy. I think I lost my mind a little bit. And so it wasn't really a good time for me to be, you know, following directions, especially in a production. So I did back out of that production. It was the first thing that I'd done outside of taking the workshops. And it was a good thing. It was a good thing that I did that. And then later on, shortly after that, I got involved with my theater group, or the theater group that asked me to be a part of what they were doing. And I just started with the quick fill-in, a walk-in spot, because someone was going to be able to do their play for 1 week, but he wasn't going to be able to do it the second week. And I was like, well, okay, I can do it the second week. You know, and it wasn't that many lines, but from that performance, I got pulled into a permanent spot and got added to their board of directors, and just, yeah, you know, and devoted my life for a couple of years to the theater, you know. So. But yeah, the Repertory Theater was housed in that spot with the Bossier Arts Council. It was like right above it. It used to be a jail. It was their city jail, and then they built other locations and the jail was empty, so they just used their whole backstage area. It was like the holding cells. I was like, oh my god, looked like Mayberry. Anyway, so I'm happy to go check it out. So I will be looking forward to doing that. You know, what's cool about it is that it's going to be right next to downtown. It's going to be, everything is going to help. When you take these things and you bring them closer to a central area, especially when you're trying to come up, you're trying to increase your profile, uh, on a national level. So having the Bossier Art Council right across the street from these casinos and right across the street from the G Unit Studios, and there's going to be a massive they're building, oh, let's walk over there, I'll show you. They're going to build a dome. Some time ago there was a festival. It's called the Humor and Harmony Festival, and just everybody was there. Comedians and music and everything, and they put up a temporary structure that was like a dome that looked like the Dome Theater in Vegas. So now they're going to be building a permanent fixture there, so that's going to be kind of cool. And I think there's a comedy club here. So let me go back. Hang on one second. So right now they're doing like open poetry reading, but it's a comedy club and everything like that. So we're always looking for something to do down here that's different. So why not, right? When I talk with my buddy, sometimes we're like, you know, we love to get out, love to do stuff. What we want to do is we want to do something different. What is there new? What is there something new to do? What is there something different? So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a comedy. They do comedy there, but right now they're doing poetry. And I'm imagining they're doing like, the thing where they do maybe they use what they used to call slam poetry. You know, you don't know what it's like to be me, because you'll never know what it's like to be me, because you only know what it's like to be you. And if you step out of your head and step into me, you know, that kind of stuff. You know? But that's just an outer framework. Some of the work that they do is really good, actually. But I don't do aggressive, like, poetry that is, I don't know. I'm not like I don't have that need of an outlet. Basically because I vlog, but also because really I journal, and I do a lot of creative writing too. And I'm blessed with really open communication with a lot of friends and family, so that when I have angst, I get to talk those things out, you know. So I don't have to get on soapboxes. I don't even go to my recovery meetings and get up on soapboxes like I did in the beginning. It was like, oh my God, you know. Well, that's what I had to relate to, you know. Now I've got a wider frame of reference. But it would also be fun to go see some comedy. I'll see what's up. Okay. I've been talking for almost an hour. Gotta go home. I was initially going to walk over and check out the site of the, maybe I still can actually. But I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Love and light. And in a future video, I will go over and I will talk about the site of the dome, where they're going to build it and what it's going to be called, the G Dome or something like that. Because it's one of the properties that's now owned by G Unit Studios, by Curtis Jackson, also known as 50 Cent. 50 Cent? 50 Cent? 50 Cent. So, there you go. On this Tuesday night, it's close to midnight. I need to go home and make my dinner. Love and light. God bless. Ciao Bella. Oh, this too. As I'm walking by it. Hang on. So yeah, this is a property that he's bought that he's going to do some stuff with. Not going to be the site of the G Dome. The G Dome is in another area. But anyway, love and light. God bless you. Good night.